Welcome back, friends, to another first grade virtual summer video lesson. We are on lesson number 19, and this is going to be a science lesson. We will be learning about reptiles and amphibians. Okay, first up we have, boys and girls, reptiles. So this is our science lesson on reptiles. This is being brought to us from Happy Learning, this educational video for kids.
Hello everyone. Today we're going to learn about some very interesting vertebrate animals. We present the reptiles. Reptiles are vertebrate animals which are characterized by their special way of moving. Many move by dragging their tummy or abdomen on or close to the ground. Their name in Latin means just that. Reptare means to crawl or slither. Many are terrestrial, but there are also some that live in water. All reptiles have a number of characteristics we should know about so we can recognize them. Reptiles are cold-blooded animals that breathe with their lungs. They are oviparous. That is, they reproduce by eggs. When the eggs develop and hatch, the babies are just like their parents, but very small. Aren't they cute? As you can see, reptiles' skin is covered with strong, tough scales, and some, like tortoises, even have a shell. It looks like he has his house on his back, doesn't it? As for feeding, well, most reptiles are carnivorous. They hunt. Like this crocodile which has just eaten this poor rodent. Or this cute chameleon with its long, sticky tongue that catches all kinds of insects. Look, look! As we said already, most reptiles are carnivorous, but some, like this iguana, are herbivorous. There are lots of interesting things you should know about reptiles, such as most snakes have venom in their fangs. But they're not as bad as they seem, because they warn us of danger with their bright colors or the sound of their rattles. Chameleons are very curious. They can change color, copying the landscape around them. They blend in with the background so no one can see them, and they become almost invisible. So let's remember the most important characteristics of reptiles. Reptiles walk by dragging their tummy on or close to the ground. They are oviparous, and their body is covered with strong, hard scales. They are vertebrates and are cold-blooded, and remember, they breathe with their lungs. Reptiles really are quite interesting, aren't they? Well, goodbye for now, everyone, and don't forget to subscribe to Happy Learning.
Well, we've learned about reptiles, boys and girls. Now we are going to learn about amphibians. And we're going to have Happy Learning help us learn about amphibians with this educational video for kids. So join us.
Hello everybody. Today we're going to look at a truly amazing group of vertebrates. When they're born, they usually live in water, but when they grow up and become adults, they spend most of their time on land. We present the amphibians. All amphibians have some common characteristics that you should know about, so you can recognize and differentiate them. Amphibians have thin, bare skin with no hairs and scales to protect them. Most have 4 legs and a membrane between their toes that allows them to move much better in the water. Amphibians are oviparous, but they don't incubate their eggs after laying them. They abandon them and don't care for their young. Not very good parents, huh? When they hatch, they're small larvae and live in water. Slowly, very slowly, their bodies go through a process called metamorphosis. During this process, the body of the amphibian changes. Their front and rear legs, their limbs grow, and their heads and their bodies develop, so they finally look like their parents. In the early stages of their lives, amphibians breathe through gills. But when they grow up and become adults, they breathe with their lungs. The problem is, their lungs are very small and cannot get all the oxygen they need to live. But nature is very clever and has solved this problem by allowing them to breathe and get the oxygen they need through their skin. That's why they need to be near water to keep their skin wet. In the early stages of their life, some amphibians are herbivores, but when they grow up, most become carnivores. So they need to hunt. Some have a long, sticky tongue they shoot out to capture prey. Aren't amphibians fascinating and also a bit strange? So let's remember the most important characteristics. Amphibians are vertebrates. They're oviparous. In the early stages of their life, they live in water as larvae. But slowly they change until they look like their parents. This process of change is called metamorphosis. Amphibians are carnivores, so they have to hunt to eat. They have thin, smooth skin and breathe through their skin and with their lungs. Amphibians are so interesting, aren't they? Goodbye for now, everyone, and don't forget to subscribe to Happy Learning.
Okay, boys and girls, so after those 2 videos of reptiles and amphibians, we have some vocabulary to remember. Cold-blooded, which means having a body temperature that depends on the temperature outside. Oviparous, producing young by means of eggs that are hatched after they have been laid by the parent. And gills, openings on a fish or amphibian body that help it to breathe. Now, we have some reptile and amphibian fun facts. The first one is, boys and girls, that amphibians and reptiles come in lots of sizes and colors, as we saw in the videos. Also, some frogs are as small as your fingernail. So take a look at your fingernail. Some frogs are that small, while some snakes can grow as long as a school bus. Wow, I would not like to see that snake. Also, turtles can live 100 years or more. And did you know that crocodiles are related to dinosaurs? Now, we have a reptile and amphibian question and answer. Well, the question is, do reptiles and amphibians make good pets? Well, the answer is, these animals need special care and they're not cuddly. But some people like to keep them as pets. Another question, are reptiles and amphibians helpful? And the answer is, most of the time, they eat insects and mice that can hurt our farms and gardens. Okay, so those are just some fun facts about reptiles and amphibians. Now I have a fun arts and crafts project for you, boys and girls, that have to also do with reptiles, or in this case, it'll be about an amphibian. Guess what amphibian it's going to be? Well, let's tune in and see what that project is going to be. Okay, boys and girls, so we are going to make an amphibian. So how to make a simple paper frog. Now remember, if you do not have green paper or red paper, or in this case, yellow paper, remember you can use crayons or markers. You can color in that color, or you can have your frog a different color. Remember, frogs are all types of colors. We've learned that, right? So it could be any color frog. Does not have to be green, and the spots that you see here that are yellow could be a different color as well. So if for the cutting, boys and girls, if you need help, you remember to ask an adult to help you, especially with the scissors. Okay, for glue, if you do not have glue, remember you can also use tape. If you have tape, you can use that. All right, boys and girls, so we're going to go ahead and get started with this simple paper frog craft. And we're going to get started. Remember, if the video is going a little too fast for you, you can always pause it, or you can go ahead and watch it through the first time, and you can go back and rewatch it the second time to help you with the steps on how to do this paper frog. So you're going to trace a circle and cut the circle. And you can make different sizes of circles, boys and girls, for different sizes of frogs. Okay, that's a smaller size circle. Okay, you're going to use that for the frog's feet. She folded the paper because that way she can go ahead and cut all the 4 legs at one time, and they'll all be the same. Okay, boys and girls, we're going to start it from the beginning just to make sure, because our video got interrupted. So remember, the green is the bigger circle, and then she's going to cut a smaller circle with the pink paper. And they can be different sizes, boys and girls. You can make bigger frogs, smaller frogs, depending on the size of the green circle that you cut. But always remember that the pink circle has to be smaller than the green circle. Okay, so she cut all the legs all at once. Okay, she folded it in half because that way she'll cut two. That's going to be for the eyes. She's going to do the same thing with the white paper, fold it in half so she can get two for the eyes as well. Okay, we're going to fold both of the papers in half, the pink and the green. Okay, so glue on the white part of the eyes before you glue it on the body. Okay, now with the black marker or crayon or pen, you can go ahead and draw the black part on the eyes. And if you can see, they folded a little flap, and that's the little flap is what they're going to use to glue it on the body. And now this is the tongue. Okay, again, folding the paper, you'll get more than one. Then she's going to draw the nose. Okay, so now there's a frog family. Well, boys and girls, I hope you've enjoyed this craft of a paper frog.